Hello students, Abha Arora this side. Hope that you all are doing great and safe at home. So this is the fifth video lecture of chapter 11, which is dual nature of radiation and matter. In this video lecture, I'm going to start with the topic wave nature of matter. The topics before this one, basically they're related to the particle nature of radiation. They're related to particle nature of radiation, as you've read about photons, particle nature of radiation. But from this topic onwards, we'll be discussing about wave nature of particle. Are you getting my point? Previous topics, they were related to particle nature of wave, particle nature of radiation. But this topic onwards, we'll be discussing about wave nature of matter. Okay? So there are some phenomena which are explained by wave nature of light. For example, reflection and refraction. There are many more. We'll be discussing about them in optics. Okay? And some phenomenon, they are well explained by the particle nature. That is, for example, one we have seen in this chapter only, that is photoelectric effect. So a question arises that if a radiation has particle nature, if a radiation can have particle nature, then particle must have wave nature. Then particle must also have wave nature. So therefore, in 1924, the French physicist Louis Victor de Broglie put forward the bold hypothesis that moving particle of matter should display wave-like properties under suitable condition. Okay, so therefore he gave a relationship, and that relationship is called as de Broglie relation, which is given as lambda is equal to h by p. Lambda is what? Wavelength, h Planck's constant, divided by p, which is momentum, which can further be written as m into v. M mass, v velocity of that particle. So as you can see, the final expression is lambda is equal to h by mv. If you observe this formula carefully, the left hand side is wavelength, means which is representing wave nature, and right hand side is momentum, mass and velocity, which is the attribute of a particle. Which are the attributes of a particle? So therefore this relation is connecting wave nature with the particle nature, and this wavelength relationship is called as de Broglie relation, and the wavelength lambda is called as de Broglie wavelength. De Broglie wavelength. So momentum's expression can be written as P is equal to h nu by c, energy by c. So from here what I am going to do, we'll find out h by p. We'll find out h by p. Why we are finding it? Because in de Broglie relationship, lambda is how much? H by p. So therefore I'm trying to find out h by p, and from here I'm getting c by v. C by v, and which is equal to lambda. So this expression is particularly for photon. This expression is particularly for photon. Now we are going to consider one example in which we are going to find out de Broglie wavelength for a ball of mass 0.12 kg moving with a speed of 20 meter per second. Okay, mass is how much? 0.12 kg, and speed is how much? 20 meter per second. And the aim is to find out de Broglie wavelength. Expression of that de Broglie wavelength, it is how much? It's h by mv. It's h by mv, means what you need? You need value of Planck constant, you need value of mass and velocity. Mass and velocity is given in the statement. And what about Planck constant? That must be known to you, which is how much? 6.626 into 10 raised to power minus 34 joule second. Okay, now let us observe the value of mass. It is in kg, very much fine. No need to convert the units. Speed is in meter per second. It's also very much fine. Okay, so we can use them as it is. So when I have calculated, what I have found out, that momentum is coming out to be 2.40 and lambda is coming out to be 2.76 into 10 raised to power minus 34 meter, which is very, very, very small. And the reason is that lambda is inversely proportional to mass and velocity. Lambda is inversely proportional to mass and velocity. More the mass, lesser will be the lambda. More the velocity, lesser will be the lambda or wavelength. This is the reason that wavelength is not measurable for macroscopic objects. This is the reason that wavelength is not measurable for macroscopic object. Macroscopic object, because they are the objects which have more mass as compared to microscopic ones. So it means if you are moving, as you have mass, and if you are moving, you will be having velocity too. means there must be a wave associated with you, but that is not measurable. Reason is because mass is very much large. Okay, now we are going to consider an electron, and we are going to accelerate that electron through the potential V. So I know that kinetic energy is how much? E into V. We have seen it earlier. But one more formula for particle, the kinetic energy will be half mv square, and half mv square can be written as p square by 2m. Okay, and from this relationship I can found p is how much? 2mk under root. Instead of k we can put ev. Wavelength is how much? H by p. Expression of p we are having, which is 2me into v. So this is the relationship that I'm going to use whenever I have to find wavelength for any particle, okay, whose mass is given to you or potential is given to you. If potential is given to you, you can use h by under root 2m ev. If kinetic energy directly given to you, then you can use h by under root 2mk, right? So after putting the values, numerical values of h, m and e, h we know, mass we have to put of an electron because we are considering an electron, and mass is how much of an electron? 9.1 10 raised to power minus 31. Okay, and what about E? E is charge, and how we know that value? 1.6 10 raised to power minus 19. So after solving all of these, lambda is coming out to be 1.227 divided by under root V nanometer. V is what? It is the magnitude of accelerating potential. So what they had done, they found the value of lambda for 120 volt. And it's coming out to be 0.112 nanometer. 0.112 nanometer. This wavelength is of the same order as the spacing between atomic planes in the crystal, means interatomic spacing. So from here they got an idea, okay, if the wavelength is coming out to be as the same order of the interatomic spacing of the planes in the crystal, then this formula can be verified by using an experiment, which is similar to the diffraction, and that experiment is Davison-Germer experiment, and that we'll be doing in the next video lecture. Okay, so formula is there, and in 1929 de Broglie was awarded Nobel Prize in physics for his discovery of the wave nature of electrons. Now let us see one numerical associated with this formula, that is example 11.4. It is saying what is the de Broglie wavelength associated with A part, an electron moving with a speed of 5.4 into 10 raised to power 6 meter per second. B part, a ball of mass 150 gram traveling at 30 meter per second. So basically the question is you have to find de Broglie wavelength. So expression must be known to you. Lambda is how much? H by mv. Value of h known to you. Mass and velocity you need. In A part they are talking about electron. Mass of electron is a constant quantity. You must know it. Speed is given to you. So all parameters are given. You just have to go through the mathematical calculations, and your answer will be 0.135 nanometer. In B part, instead of electron, they have considered a ball of mass 150 gram. So 150 gram means what we have to do? We have to convert it into kg first, and velocity is given. So mass is given to you, velocity is given to you, h is again known to you. So de Broglie wavelength can be easily found out in both the cases, and that's very much easy. Now let us see example number 5. Example number 11.5. An electron, an alpha particle and a proton have the same kinetic energy. So electron is given to you, alpha particle is basically helium particle. And a proton, they have same kinetic energy. So which of these particle has the shortest de Broglie wavelength? So this expression we have seen that lambda is how much? H divided by 2mk. H divided by square root of 2mk means lambda is inversely proportional to kinetic energy and it is inversely proportional to mass. Two variables are there only. So kinetic energy is same for all of these three particles. Then variable will be here only mass. So lambda is inversely proportional to mass. So in the question they are asking about which of these particle has the shortest wavelength. So as the wavelength is inversely proportional to mass, and what I need shortest wavelength, means the heavier particle will be having shortest wavelength. Are you getting my point? As lambda is inversely proportional to mass, and what do we need? We need shortest wavelength. So therefore heavier particle will provide you the shortest wavelength. And who is the heavier amongst this electron, proton and this electron, proton and alpha particle. Obviously, helium particle is the heavier one. So helium particle will be having the shortest de Broglie wavelength. Okay. Now next numerical is 11.6, and it is saying that a particle is moving 3 times fast as an electron. Means velocity of a particle is 3 times than that of an electron. The ratio of de Broglie wavelength of the particle to that of the electron is this much. So you are having, there is some particle whose velocity is 3 times as that of an electron, and ratio of de Broglie wavelength of that particle, let us say lambda, we can say it lambda p divided by lambda e is given to you. You have to calculate particle's mass and identify the particle's nature. Okay, so lambda is h by p, p is what, m into v, so h by mv. From here I have found m, which is h by lambda v. For an electron, h is constant, so I am denoting it as me, h divided by lambda e ve. Now this is given to you that v by ve is 3, obviously, because v was 3 times ve. So v by ve you are having lambda by lambda 3 is already given to you. So mass of the particle will be, m will be how much, me lambda e by lambda ve by v. So after putting all the values, the mass is coming out to be 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kg. And we know that proton and neutron, they are having the same mass, and the value is 1.6 10 raised to power minus 27 kg. So this particle can be proton or a neutron. Okay. 11.7 example, it is saying what is the de Broglie wavelength associated with an electron accelerated through a potential difference of 100 volts. So either you can use the formula, which is lambda is equal to h divided by 2 mev. Okay, then later on you can put up the values of h, m, e for electron. Potential is given to you. Okay, or what you can do, you can directly use the formula, which was basically 1.227 divided by square root of potential. Okay, both the options you have, but if we are talking about electron, I'll suggest you to use this formula because it will, you know, make your mathematical calculation a bit easier. And lambda is how much, 1.227 divided by under root v, and square root of 100 we know that it's 10, so it's simply coming out to be how much, 0.123 nanometer. Okay, so this was all about this video lecture. What you have to do, practice solved examples from 23 to 30. And if any doubt is there, then do let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video lecture. Take care.